8mm came into being was I had been thinking about this idea of doing some work for film and television during the times when I wasn't producing bands. Because I'd go from band to band to band, and every once in a while there'd be like a month where I wasn't working, but I was thinking it'd be really fun to do something. I've got a studio, and so I was thinking about doing some music, and I was producing this band Kill Hannah at the time, and we were doing their first debut record for Atlantic, and it was the last day of production where I'm wrapping everything up to then send to Tim Palmer to mix it, and the A&R guy comes in and he says, I really want female vocals on these 2 singles. And I was like, oh, wow, it's late, but I'll call some people up. So I went through my Rolodex, and no one was available. It was just like, where am I going to come up with a female singer? And in walked Juliet, because we were going to go have lunch together. We'd been married we were together for 7 years at that time or whatever. And I looked at her and I was like, come here for a second. And I brought her into the studio room and I put her in front of the microphone. I'm like, try to sing this. I'd never heard her sing before or anything, but I'm like I'm desperate, And she's from New Orleans. She should know how to sing at least, right? And so she starts, we go in, we press play, and she starts singing, and the engineer and I were both like, and I was like, oh my God, I have to write some music. And so when we finished that record, we went in the studio and wrote a song together, and it worked out great. And so from then on, we just kept writing. And it was pretty amazing.
Yeah, Johnny, who actually worked with us on this record, was in Kill Hannah, so he was there. But I went into the lounge when he said, hey, can you sing? And I was like, I don't know, maybe. But so I went to the band and I said, if this sucks, too bad, you're screwed. He'll have to fix it or something like that. And I went and he sang the part to me that he wanted me to sing, and I sang it back, and I was like, okay. And then put the headphones on, got in the booth, and sang the first part and went, oh, I hope that doesn't suck, because I think I just fell in love with it. And then when we talked about writing together, we were just like, all right, if we're miserable working this way together, then we'll stop, right? And we weren't, so we've been writing ever since.
We loved it.
Yeah. Yeah. From there, I guess from performing on stage, I kind of, being in LA, I wanted to expand on sort of my skill set on stage and get into acting, especially the more music that we got into film and to television, the more I became interested in it. So our manager was like, hey, I know this guy, go meet an acting coach. And I met with him and kind of had the same thing. I was like, all right, he'll tell me if I'm terrible, right? I don't want to be one of these people. And we worked through, and he was like, no, it's easier for musicians to switch over, and you're good, let's do this. So I started working with him, and then did some short films, had a couple of roles, and just kind of continue pursuing it and working on it. And people seem to like me, so that's good. I haven't gotten oh God, you're awful leave yet, so I'm going to keep going until I get that. When we started, back in 2004, the internet was it was around and doing things, but music was changing, and the music industry was really changing. There was a lot of avenues for independent artists to get their music out into the world and get to fans directly, and we really wanted to find a way to capitalize on that. When we put out Songs to Love and Die By, we were actually on a small label called Curb Appeal, and they really helped facilitate that. They understood us. It was a cool deal, and they connected us with the best thing, honestly, to come out of it was they connected us with an amazing licensing agent who we still have, and he was able to get us to people who like our stuff in shows. It got us onto Grey's Anatomy, One Tree Hill, Nip Tuck, You're the Worst, just lots of stuff. I mean, about 85% of the catalog. And honestly, just being able to gather your own mailing list, get direct to fans, helped us put together a Kickstarter, go on a tour, and fund it all through just the fans and us. With no middleman.
Our vision, like, direct to everyone else. You know what I mean? And we like that idea because we have other jobs and stuff too. But it's like this project was about like what comes out of our hearts, and to be able to just put that out right away just by itself was a big deal.
Yeah, not having to do art by committee was really nice. Everyone streams now. I mean, even for this record, I didn't print any any CDs because computers aren't even made with CD players anymore. I don't know. There's a portion of our fan base that still could play CDs, but they would only want them for collectibles, as something to keep for the case. And I understand that. Maybe we'll do artwork that you can keep in that way, but manufacturing and inventorying and keeping actual physical product for an independent artist, it's people don't buy as much stuff. Maybe Mary Kondo is kind of screwing us on that, and that's okay. So you do have to look for other avenues of revenue, because sales, when you can stream it on Spotify whenever you want and not have to worry about hard drive space or really putting any expense on yourself, why would you buy something? So yeah. I don't know.
And it made the whole kind of the way the industry was going made sense for us, because when we started this thing, we were watching like TV and film, and we loved the kind of music we were hearing. It was so innovative and interesting, and we thought like this is the perfect avenue for us. We love the idea of cinematic kind of scores, and like David Lynch was like one of our favorite directors. And it was like, this is the kind of stuff we want to do. So we were actually, even the whole idea behind it was to do music for film and for TV shows and stuff like that. Like the idea was to have that kind of creative ability where we weren't dealing with a record company telling us you need to do this to get on the radio. It was more, let's do this because it's cool.
Yes,
and that's what with the idea of doing it for licensing, it allowed us the freedom to kind of create as artists, not necessarily as a product, So like when we found that the avenue also allowed us to, get pretty decent money from the streams, it just made sense, part of the whole new world, really.
Yeah, and it was always, there's an extra satisfaction of seeing what another artist feels is the compatible visual. Yeah. When it was always fun to watch the shows and to see where it was placed and how that particular creation fit with what we had made, and that's always kind of really satisfying.
It's kind of totally how we dovetailed into doing scores for movies too. It's like we love seeing what the collaborations between these different art groups like would make these amazing things happen, and for us now scoring films is the same thing. It's just that watching what a director did with his visual ideas and how the actors put it together, and then what you bring to it emotionally with the music. It's such a cool thing to work with so many great artists, and see what they put together and how it expands people's vision emotionally,
I'd like people to know that Heart-Shaped Hell, the new EP, is probably our favorite collection of 8mm songs that we've done to date. I'm really proud of them, and I hope everyone enjoys them. Yeah. Sean? Yeah. It's everywhere. Heart-Shaped Hell is available on Spotify, iTunes, our website, which is 8mm Loves You, so that's 8mmlovesyou.com, and Facebook, Instagram. We're everywhere the kids are, trying to work our way into their lives. But yeah, do you want to add anything to that?
I'm good.
He says no.
The Greek Theater.
The Greek. I want to play the Greek.
That's our goal. Our goal is to play the Greek Theater because it's just such a great place.
Yeah.